Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be talking about the Fed's interest rates decision and its impact on you. So in this video, let's talk about something that affects us all. Money and interest rates. It may sound boring, but it's important. And don't worry, I got some very exciting stuff happening. So let me break it down for you. And now to my first point, which is breaking news. So on November 1st, the Federal Reserve had a meeting and they've decided to not raise the interest rates. But here's the funny thing. They've actually raised interest rates 11 times in just the last year, from having a 0.25% interest rate to 5.5%. And that is the fastest they've ever increased the interest rates in 40 years. And what does this tell you? It means that they're actually slowing down. So this may be saying that they're having a very high rate, yes, but at the same time, they're stopping and not increasing interest rates also means that they're slowing down. And what does that mean that they're slowing down? Because they say that economy is also starting to slow down, meaning inflation is coming down as well. But of course, there are some risk to stopping and even lowering it right now, so that's why they're not lowering it, but they're just taking a gap. And now to my second point, which is, what does this mean to you? What this actually means to you is that you actually have a hard time borrowing money, because everything you do right now, whatever you borrow, no matter it's a fixed mortgage or something, a house or a car, everything that you get a loan for has now increased around 10 to 20%. Meaning you have to pay a lot of money. Example, if you borrow 100 ringgit, okay? Now when you have to pay back, you have to pay back 120 ringgit. But just think about it in a larger number. You borrow 100,000. Now you have to borrow 120,000 and give back 120,000, right? Giving back 120,000, there's an extra 20,000, and that is a large number. And not many people wants to do that. So credit card is an all-time high, highest in history, where they are at a 20% interest rate, which is crazy. But at the same time, now that the Fed has taken a pause in increasing the interest rates, it also indicates that it's going to come down, right? But I think that they're going to stay at this level for a while. Well, yeah, that's the whole point, where people stop borrowing money and then suffer, and then inflation can come down. Yeah, but also means that the data are showing some sort of things that the Fed seems to not be unpleased about. That's why they're not increasing again. And now on to my third point, which is inflation is a problem. So the most simplest explanation for inflation, since I do it every video, is that every single thing you buy, every single goods and services will increase in price. And right now, the prices are too high, and that's called inflation. So the Fed is not very happy with this, because the inflation, the core inflation, which is the Fed's preferred measurement for inflation, is at 3.7%. And the target is 2%. They don't like that. They don't like that the interest rate is raised to 5.5%, but yet core inflation is due at 3.7%, while they want 2%. So yes, that's the situation right now. So potentially they might take a pause, but if inflation still don't calm down, they might increase it by the next meeting, or they might let it remain high and then hopefully it will come down over time. Or else they will be forced to pivot in the far or near future, maybe next year. They'll most probably pivot next year. But if inflation doesn't come down by then as well, then we might get into another inflation, which a lot of people has been speculating that we might bounce back into inflation because of many other reasons. But yeah. And now on to my fourth point, which is pressure on the Fed. So the Fed actually has been feeling some pressure from rich people to lower down interest rates. So why are they feeling pressure to lower down interest rates? Because actually, lowering down interest rates will benefit businesses. And many businesses in America has been feeling it lately. It's been very tough for them because lower interest rates means cheaper money to borrow. Cheaper money to borrow, cheaper money to spend. So yes, they want lower interest rates to benefit their company. Even Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla, has been voicing out on this because he thinks that it's going to benefit Tesla, which of course is true because they're supposed to be a tech company, and tech companies are supposed to innovate a lot, and innovation costs a lot of money. But of course, it's not just him. There's been a lot of people, even real estate, even banking, private equity, tech, and all those other businesses out there. They have all been voicing out about lowering interest rates. But it will cause inflation. So the Fed is also in a very tight position, you know what I mean? It's like either lose the people's heart or either make the economy bad. Which one are you choosing? And now to my fifth point, which is what's next? So what's next is that the Fed eventually have to pivot, probably next year. And when they do, they'll also print money. When they print money, inflation will come back. When inflation comes back, they'll also make the stock market go wild. So when the stock market go wild and then there's an inflation, people will be back in a situation where it's hard to spend because everything's expensive again. So they're giving this event a little name. They've named it. The people that judges the economy speculate. They're calling it a Meltup. And I'm not sure why they're calling it a Meltup. I'm pretty sure I just explained to you what a Meltup is, so you probably don't need to think too deep into it. But just think about how you're like rowing a boat on a lake, and now this lake, not a lake, a river, and this river is starting to have rough currents, and ahead of you is going to be even rougher currents, and eventually you guys gonna probably be hitting some really rough currents where you might swing around with the waves potentially crashing. And that's what's happening in the financial world right now. And now finally, to my conclusion. So what's the bottom line here? The bottom line is that the economy is a bumpy ride, and as rates stay high, the business are going to suffer. Especially the ones that are made out of low interest business. What I mean is that those businesses that was made during low interest rates. So many people risk a lot of things just to start their business, and then they need to borrow money. When they borrow money, they normally find time when it's having low interest. And those kind of companies, those kind of businesses normally borrows a lot of loans, putting a lot of risk on the line for the company to survive and expand. And those companies, we have a lot of those companies now, are going to suffer significantly because of high interest. And eventually the Fed will cut rates. It won't be an instant fix though, because it will have a lag effect. Just like how increasing the interest rates will have a lag effect, decreasing it will also have a lag effect as well. But also remember that the Fed cannot promise that this is the end of the rate hikes, because if they promise that, it could lead to another potential inflation. And we're kind of still in one right now, so we do not want another one coming. So at the same time, we have to remember that money and interest rates is definitely the key to this drama, and inflation and this whole economic situation could be feeling like a roller coaster. But just pay attention to the news, because this story is definitely far from over. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something out of it. I hope you come back and watch my video as well. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.